Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is November 21st. Welcome to my channel. Now, what did we have yesterday, right? We stayed within our balance range yesterday. Okay. We're still in that range, even though we're gapping up slightly today. Now, NVDA reported they beat, right? But they're having some supply issues, and I guess the market didn't expected bigger growth or whatever, right? Now, it's only down 0.69% right now from the close yesterday. So it's really a nothing burger. Okay. Markets try to just break out right now. Okay. But we're in this balance range. So we're going to break out. And we're in ultimate balance. And I'll go into this in depth later in the futures. So the most traded price of the month and the week are equal. Whenever that happens, that means everybody's agreeing upon, let's say the ES 5920, right? 5920 is the most fairest price in the market. So you have longs and shorts crowded there. The farther we get away from that, somebody's in big pain. So it's going to be a big move. What's the catalyst going to be? I don't know. Right? So it's going to be a big move. It's going to be an outsized big move. And we have a gap above us and below us. So interesting, interesting, interesting. I believe it should be to the upside. That's what the options market's telling me. But anything can happen. All right, now without further ado, let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, the previous day. That's my edge. Okay, that's how I look at markets. Okay, that's what gives me the blueprint for today. Okay, that gives me the blueprint. Now, hopefully, everybody can join me at 8:10 a.m. every day. All right, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, water, drive to work, take a shower, put me on. I'll give you the recap, right? What happened yesterday, what's going on today, the market news, the economic calendar. We'll go over daily charts, all that. 8:30 a.m.'s main event. That's where I analyze the Nasdaq and the ES futures. Okay, that's where we come up with long and short trade scenarios. Okay, I leave you with those every day. I do it live. I don't even do anything until I look at it live. Okay, now once the market opens, new data comes in, right? I have to process that new data because nobody knows what that new data will be. Okay, and then I decide to put risk on. Now I had a nice big trade yesterday, a long, and I already dropped a video. Okay, and you can see why I took it. See why I took the long. Okay, so please check that out. All right, I dropped it on my X at Gun719, my YouTube Shorts. You can check it there. All right, and also TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right, please check those out. Leave me a comment. Leave me a question. Happy to answer it. I think those videos are very educational. Okay, and to see how I like confluence. I like things lining up for me to hit the enter. Click my little mouse and enter. Okay? And if you enjoy my content, please smash that like button. That would mean a lot to me. All right? All right. Why don't we get into this? All right? Why don't we get into this and see what's moving markets? Let's look at the futures watch list here. And let's see. Now, who's leading the pack today? Jeez, Ether. My lord. Ether is up 9.72%. My lord. Bitcoin is charging towards 100K, up 3.43. I know Michael Saylor is doing some craziness with Bitcoin, boy, and MicroStrategy's going and buying more. It's crazy. Okay. Um, Crude. Now, There's a certain type of missile that I believe that's never been fired before from Russia to Ukraine. Now there's some dispute on it if it is this type of missile or not. It's probably driving crude from bottoming out up. Okay, over $70.17 a barrel. The VIX is up 1.47% at 16.59. Okay, gold with these geopolitical concerns is getting some love. Russell's up 0.61, dollars up 0.51. The Dow's up 0.37, ES up 0.32, Nasdaq up 0.23, silver's up 0.19, 30-year bonds being bought but only slightly. 10-year yield's only down slightly. Okay, that's what's going on in futures. All right, moving on to the Mag 7. No surprise here. Coinbase up 3.28%. No surprise there. Amazon's up 0.50, Meta's up 0.49, Boeing up 0.42, AMD up 0.36, Netflix up 0.36, Microsoft up 0.19, Berkshire Hathaway 0.14. That just moved on me. Avgo up 0.04. Now GE is flat, Eli Lilly flat, and Tesla is down 0.20, and Google is down 0.56. Okay, Google's down 0.56. Now, NVIDIA. Oh my, look at NVIDIA. Unbelievable. It's not even down anymore from yesterday's close. Okay. If you look at the numbers, I think they made 35 billion, almost doubled from a year ago. So it's not like they suck, but it's just crazy, right? It's just crazy. Once that I knew that wasn't gonna, it's just crazy. It's a beast. It's a beast. All right. It's not even down anymore. It's up. Look, it's as I'm speaking, it's rising. Boop boop. It's going to push the market higher. Okay. So keep an eye on that. Let's go to top sector stocks here. Snowflake reported earnings, and I will talk about the little news with them. They are up 23.68%. That thing has been crap for a while, and now it's having a nice little move. All right, Salesforce up 0.89. Exxon getting some love with the war. So is Chevron. Okay. Goldman Sachs up 0.38. Uber up 0.36. Procter & Gamble 0.30. Home Depot 0.26. Costco up 0.22. Now, laggards here. Qualcomm. Right now, I don't know why Qualcomm is down 0.83, but it's down. McDonald's is down 1%. Okay, now they did have a dividend. That could be the reason. Okay, what's their dividend? I think they pay a nice dividend. Their dividend is $1.77. They closed there. It's probably why. Okay. All right, moving on to the swing trade list. No surprise here. MicroStrategy's up 13.65. That is insane. MicroStrategy at one point, I believe, was $100. Insanity. Okay, Mara up 11.58. Super Microcomputers getting love again, up 6.47. I believe they were mentioned on the NVIDIA call. Riot, it's just moving on me, 6.42%. Let's see, Datadog. Datadog is up 5.20. Now that's IT, cybersecurity, and Palo Alto is down. They had earnings, so usually it's in sympathy, but that's not in sympathy. Okay. Hood up 3.71. Bitcoin ATF up 3.33. I think that net is Cloudflare up 2.73. Probably, I would think, possibly with Snowflake up. All right, Reddit up 2.19. AI up 2.04. Block up 1.45. ON up 1.41. GameStop up 1.41. I'll finish it off with 1%ers. I believe that's John Deere. That is up 1.28. Marvel Assemi up 1.27. Unity Software up 1.25. Chewy up 1.10. And Trade Desk up 1.05. Let's look at laggards. All right, we got some laggards here. Palo Alto down 3.03. They reported earnings. Taiwan Semiconductors down 0.83. Applied Materials down 0.43. Donald Trump down 0.43. There's not many laggards here, folks. All right, not many laggards. Let's go to the sectors, the guts of the market. Let's see who's leading the pack here. Energy. Energy with the missile from Putin, right? Up 0.69. Financials up 0.52. Industrials up 0.40. That is your, well, Uber's up. So Uber's industrials. Who else? What, I mean, GE is the number one holding in industrials. That is not up, but Boeing's up. So a couple things. Technology's up 0.30. Now NVIDIA, unbelievable. NVIDIA's up 0.52% right now. It was down like 3% not too long ago. All right, so that's getting love. That's going to push tech, XLK, up 0.30. Healthcare up 0.15. So everything is starting to get up here, and there's not a lagger on the board. There's not a lagger on the board. Okay, let's move on. We're done with the guts. Let's move on to economic calendar. And like I said, this week's not heavy data besides NVIDIA. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Now, today we have initial jobless claims. We're expecting 220, previous 217. We have Philly Fed at 8:30. 10 a.m. existing home sales. Okay, 10 a.m. Sometimes this does nothing. Sometimes it pushes the market a little bit. I'm not going to enter a trade close to 10 a.m. But if I'm in one before that, I will hold. Okay, that's really it today. We got Fed Goolsby talking at 12:25. Hopefully, I'm done for the day by then. Fed Hammock at 12:30 p.m. Okay, now let's look at earnings. Okay, now so the close yesterday gave us Nvidia, Snowflake, Palo Alto, Jack in the Box. All right, those all reported. Now before the open today was Baidu, Pinduoduo, John Deere, BJ's, Warner Music Group. That was this morning. Now after the close today, we got Intuit, Gap, Ross, so some retail still, and that's about it. Tomorrow before the open, I don't even know who they are, so it's not much important to me. So that wraps up that. Now, if we're gonna get into some juicy financial juice here, let's see here. Russia fired an intercontinental ballistic missile as part of an overnight attack. Bitcoin, we know about what's going on with Bitcoin. I don't think there's much here. Let's go to news. And I'm going to see if I have any further news for you guys. Hold on a second here. I don't. Let's look at this news. NVIDIA stock fell 0.9 after it's already up. So this is already it's already up. Chip giants for revenue forecast disappointed Wall Street, presenting a sharp slowdown in quarterly revenue growth compared with much stronger year-on-year increases in revenue for the past 3 quarters. John Deere stock rose 1.4% after agriculture and construction equipment manufacturer reported fourth quarter earnings that exceeded analyst expectations, despite facing significant market challenges. Here we go, Snowflake. Snowflake stock soared 23% after the data analytics provider raised its annual product revenue forecast and said it has teamed up with AI. There you go. AI firm Anthropic to build up its cloud services. Palo Alto stock dropped 2.6% after the cybersecurity firm announced a 2-for-1 forward stock split as a top quarterly revenue and profit expectation. So it's going to have a stock split 2-to-1. So cut that stock in half. Now Baidu stock fell 2% after the Chinese tech giant posted an annual drop in third quarter revenue. Pinduoduo stock fell 10% after the Chinese online retailer and owner of I think that's Temu or Temu, reported a big quarterly earnings miss as competition intensified. Novartis ADRs rose 0.2 after the Swiss pharmaceutical company raised its growth guidance, indicating optimism about its midterm performance. All right, there we go. There's some news there. I think we can get into some upgrades, downgrades here. All right, let's look at some upgrades here. Who do we have here? ON got upgraded to outperform to strong buy. Palo Alto actually got upgraded from a neutral to a buy. And that's about it there. Downgrades. Check those out. Shopify downgraded from a hold, wow, to a sell. A hold to a sell. That's interesting. Toronto Dominion Bank. That's what that stands for. Does TD Bank stand for that? Maybe I didn't know that. Interesting. Um, what else here? Downgraded Ulta Beauty and Travelers companies. Downgraded Walmart. Downgraded? Come on. Price target. They even raised the price target, but buy to a hold. Xpeng downgraded. Buy to neutral. All right. Initiations. Let's check those out. Nothing there. Price target changes, which is, like I said, a toss up. Some days they're good, some days they're not. Target raise Williams Sonoma. Target raise Williams Sonoma. Target raise Wix. Target raise Snowflake. Palo Alto target raised. NVIDIA's target raised. Let's see NVIDIA's target raised. We got a 165, a 160, and a 190. A Netflix target raise. Jesus. $1,000 a share. Netflix. They're going to split one day. They have to. Now, initially, I thought Netflix would get hurt a little bit. I think it did from the bandwidth issues they had at the Tyson fight. But then, if you really look at it, it was like the most watched event. So I believe that turned out to be bullish. Now I saw there might be lawsuit over the buffering of the stream. We'll have to see about that. MicroStrategy target raise to 570. All right, let's see here. Delta Airlines target raised. A lot of target raises today. All right, target lowered. Only two. Only two there. Well, all right. I think that wraps up this. All right, let's go to dailies. Let's go to dailies. Daily chart time. Daily chart time. Give me 1 second while I pull those up. You can see our balance here. We're just balancing. Queuing up for that big move. Okay. So right here, we had a 3-day balance. And then look at that wick. Woof. What a wick there, huh? It's like a hammer. So, here's last week's lows. Right? That's been the support. Okay. 20-day simple moving average, 9 EMA daily. You can see the 9 EMA daily is flattening out, telling you balance. Right? I mean, you don't need that, but it's indication of balance. Okay. Where are we at now? 592.60. Gapping up right here. We're gapping up into a gap. We like to do that lately. Gapping up into a gap. And notice 592.62 is what? The low of this candle. No surprise there, right? Let's look at live look futures. And look what we, just the wick. And now we're trying to take out yesterday's session, right? Pushing up here, right? So this is the high of this candle here, which would be the high is 59.74.25 right there. Okay. So have to see, right? Holding last week's lows, holding the 20-day simple moving average above the 9 EMA daily. Okay. I think it's poised to make new all-time highs, Santa Claus type, but we have to see. All right, let's look at the Qs. Let's look at the Qs here. All right, so here's the Qs. Now the Qs kind of almost hit this trend line, right? Right here. Remember, gap above us. Look what the Qs have been doing, holding last week's lows, right? Hasn't even really touched last week's lows in the real-time trading hours, okay? Now, above the simple day moving average and kind of coming up to this trend line in the 9 EMA daily, right? Now, where are we now? 50, oh wow, we're at 50, let's call it 504.90. We're up here. Gapping up into a gap, okay, above this trend line. All right, the bottom of this candle, what is it? The low is 507.77. Okay. So a gap here, right? Then we gapped down into this gap. Then look, now we're gapping up into this gap. So it's crazy, right? Let's look at NASDAQ futures. Okay. Notice in the NASDAQ futures, we hit last week's lows one session, right? And then it just bought up, bought up. This is last month's highs right here. We're above it. We're above the 20-day simple moving average, the 90-day daily. We're starting to push up. Okay, starting to push up. Let's see what we can do here. All right, we're going to get a big move. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when. Now NVDA is already up. Unbelievable. 1.82% right now. It was down over 3%, yes, just this morning earlier. Like early. Now it's up 1.8. Okay. Technology's up 0.51 now. It was only up 0.30 earlier. So now it's the leader. Okay. Unbelievable. All right. That wraps up that. Let's go to the D triple headed monster and see what's going on there. Let's go with that 10-year yield, which has just been holding that resistance. It's just in this range, boy. Look at that. Can't break out of there. Look at this. Wick. It just doesn't know. It just doesn't know. Right? Big resistance here. Big resistance. So, it's really, what do we do? Do we break 4.47 yield or do we go back under about 4.2 yield? Okay. We have to see. All right, now let's look at our VIX. I'm sorry, our dollar. Let's look at our dollar. Here's our dollar in a little bit of a range as well. Okay. Let's see, year I have on here. A year ago. All right. Look, the dollar is actually higher than it's been since a year ago. Okay. People loving a dollar as of late. Now, just to reiterate this, a strong dollar is usually not the best for equities and commodities. Okay. Okay. We'll have to see. Now let's look at the VIX. We're having a nice VIX. I'm liking this VIX. 16.30 VIX. Okay. Which just means good volatility. 16 VIX is a 1% expected move in the S&P 500. I'll take it. I'll take that movement. Okay. All right. That wraps up our triple headed. We'll move on to the main event. All right. We'll move on to that main event. Initial jobless claims came out. Let's see. Estimated 220. We got 213. Continuing. All right. Philly Fed estimated 8 actually was negative 5.5. I don't think the market cares right now. Market's pushing up, boy. Unbelievable. Up over 2.26% right now. People just said, oh, all right, dip, I'm going to buy it. All right, dip, I'm going to buy it. Here we go. Unbelievable. NVIDIA is just unbelievable. Like I said, it doubled the revenue from a year ago. Doubled. And it's like, initially, it's okay. That's all right. It is still astonishing. Okay. And the CEO was saying it's crazy the amount of demand that he has for Blackwell chips, and it's crazy, right? So we're just killing supply zones here. Okay. We're just killing them. Now, like I said, we're in ultimate balance. Okay, we're in ultimate balance, and a big move's going to happen. Now, I don't love when the move's being made right now. Okay, you can see here. Let's look at this together. Here's the gap, right? Well, now, here's yesterday's highs. We're gapping into a gap, above a gap. So this gap, and this gap this doesn't mean it's filled because it's the overnight trading hours. It doesn't count. Okay, so you're going to have a gap into a gap, and we're here right now. We're at 59.67. Ultimate balance is 59.20. Big move is going to happen. Now, couldn't this move happen today? Yes, it can, right? It's happening right now, which I'm not loving. Okay. All right. So let's get rid of this supply zone. That is gone. Now we're into another supply zone. Okay. Okay. So let's look at yesterday. Let's just go over yesterday. I'll give you a little preview of what I did yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, boy, mm-mm-mm, it opened up and really didn't do much. Drove down, and I'm kind of upset at myself because I had a big day. Once it took out 59.20, kind of held here. I was so close to shorting there. And then when I saw the flip point, gamma flip point being taken out in the Qs, I entered and I got nipped out break even because I was a little hesitant, and then it boom. And I was like, oh my God, I was in that. Oh my God. Right? However, I didn't let that affect me too much, right? Because when we came down and we pushed up and pulled back, I got long here, stop loss here, and I rode that up to here. Okay? And then the market did this for a little bit. And then it went boop up there. Okay? So that's what happened yesterday. Okay? Now this thing is friggin' pushing up, right? So we're gapped. So here's yesterday's highs. That would be gap fill, 59.44. Here's overnight low, 59.05. Here's yesterday's lows, 58.80. So you can see the last week's lows right here, 58.76. Right? So now we're pushing up. So something to note here. All right, inventory, we dropped all the way down. Now, this is a little different here, right? Because look, inventory right now I would say is 50-50. However, what I do know that happened, we drove down all the way into here. Okay? Probably because of the missile. So now I know everybody's long up here. So the open tells you one thing, but I know we were down here and just got bought up. Okay? So that's something to note. You're getting really thin volume here. Okay? Remember, our main level is 59.20. That's the ultimate balance level. We went under it, couldn't find acceptance, and now we're pushing up, right? Remember what I said. Big move is going to happen. That's why this move happened yesterday. It's because we opened here and broke this level and went all the way back to the other side of balance. And guess what happens? If you can't go there, once you start going this way, all the shorts got to cover. So think about this. Think about all these shorts in here. All the shorts in here. They're sweating right now. Okay? So let's look at nuance, if there's any really nuance here. So anytime you have a gap like this, okay? Anytime you have a gap like this, we got to talk about gap rules. So 59.44 is gap fill. So number one most bullish is a gap and a go. Number two is a failure to fill the gap and go. Number three most bullish is a fill the gap and go. And then four is when you start to the price starts to come back into range, and that just means the buyers that are not as strong. Doesn't mean it can't go up. It's just a sign of like, okay, the buyers are not as strong. So that's the gap rules. Okay. Now, the levels that I'm going to look at today, obviously gap fill, 59.44. Okay. 59.44. Then we have a big demand zone here. I'm going to include this right here. That with the 59.20. Okay. So it's really important that we hold this. Okay. It's really important. So I want to see what we do if we come back here. Now, if we take this out and start going this way, this would be considered a look above and fail, and we'll go back to the S side of balance, and that's pretty scary. So we just have to see. Okay. Now I think we can get right into scenarios now. Remember, ultimate balance. Okay, big moves. So let's talk about bull side. Okay, price is here, right into a supply zone right now. Okay, pretty thin volume. We're pushing up higher. Okay, so obviously we got our gap fill. We got our big demand with 5920 monster ultimate balance level. We have a couple demands below, right? I'm not crazy about those demands. Okay, I want to stick above 5920. So what am I looking for? Okay, we're gapping into a gap. Okay, this supply, hopefully it takes it down and you correct. Okay, now anywhere you get support in this area up to the gap fill is bullish. If you get support here, we can go up. Okay, this is a POC from the past. That's about 59.92. We have a naked VPOC up here at 56,004. That's an untested most traded price of the day. We have a high volume node here. Used to be the most traded price of the month at 60.15. We can go to as well. Those are some levels, okay, on this breakout. What else am I going to look for? Well, of course, a fill the gap can also make this go up. Okay, now remember the corrective activity, because it is thin volume and exuberance a little bit, could take this down a little bit, right? Now, we can also go right back, fill that gap. Everybody goes, oh my God. And we hit the 59.20, try to go, and and this, I don't know, goes as high. Okay, but that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Now, bear side. The bear side of this equation. Okay, you do have a supply zone here. You do have thin volume right here. We know everyone's getting paid long getting paid at the top of the session. Okay, the most traded price is 59.20 actually in the overnight too. So we could do a correction here. So I'd like to see this poop open up. Now this is thin volume. That's not going to be hard to crush through. And we can go right to that gap fill, 59.44, take some profits there, and then see what we do from here. Obviously you can bounce, but this is bearish scenario. So we're going to come into here, this big demand, and I think you're going to have some problems here on the short side. But like if in the short scenario you do one of these, you break this and start holding under here, you're going to go all the way to the other end of balance. That's going to be a look above and fail. You're going to test the 58.76 level. Okay, now if you break through this high volume node right here, no bueno. You're taking a trip. Okay, that's a look above and fail, out of balance. I don't know if that happens, but you have to have it in there. So that's what I'm looking for on the short side. I'm favoring the longs right now. All right, moving on to the NASDAQ. Structure-wise, let's look at it. Let's look at this together here. All right, moving up. Okay. All right, price right here at 208.59. Now we do have a supply zone that's been taken out right there. Let's get rid of it. Another supply zone's been taken out. Let's get rid of it. All right. So we're gapping up. I don't want to go over gap rules. I already did that. So gap fills 207.86. 207.86 happens to also be last month's highs. Okay, so we're gapping up into this gap. Okay. Now, the big level in ultimate balance in the NASDAQ is 206.50. 206.50. That level is right here. That level is right there. Okay, so we pretty much got the same, and you got single prints here in the profile. Okay, single prints. Pretty similar. Okay, pretty similar. Longs from here, longs from here. Getting paid. Okay, getting paid. Thin volume up here, and you have a supply zone up here. Big demand zone, just like the ES, and the major ultimate balance level, 206.50. So I'm just going to go right into it because it's now one thing you have here is this overnight low does match up with the most traded price of yesterday, but it's the same scenario. So I'm just going to gloss, all right, gloss over it a little bit here. Not well, not gloss, but it's it's the same structure as the ES, so it's not going to have to be like described in detail. So let's go over the bull case. All right, so levels you look at 207.86, last month's highs, and the gap fill, gapping up into a gap. Okay, want to see what we do. Big demand zone here, right? Encompasses the ultimate balance level of 206.50. Month to date VWAP right there. We're green now. Buyers are in control, back in control of the month. All right, so all I'm looking at here is what? Supply, overhead supply right here. So if we come up into the supply, correct, gap fill, hold it, even do a little whoop, you can go fill this gap, right? Fill the gap. Do we go? How far do we go? Well, we have a naked VPOC at 210.89. That's an untested most traded price of the day. This is the most traded price of the month. That used to be, it's like 211.90. That is a pretty big move. But like I said, big moves come from ultimate balance. Ultimate balance is right here. Okay. Also, what could happen? Pull back into this area, into the ultimate balance level, 206.50. So I want to see how the price reacts into here. All right. If we do one of these, whoop. Yeah, I like my chances maybe to fill the gap. I don't know if we go all the way up here, but that's what I like. Okay. I don't want the market to fall below and accept value below 206.50. All right. Now, bear side. Remember, we're long. People are getting paid. We're gapping up. We got single prints and thin volume at the top of the range. That's a recipe for correction. Push up into supply. Remember, gap fills here. Big zones here. Okay, you could fail, come through this thin volume, fill the gap. If you start pushing into this range, still thin volume here. Now you're going to deal with the demand zone that's here. And what do? You probably get a little bounce, but if your market winds up pushing through that level and this demand zone starts holding, you're going to go to the other side of balance, which is about 204.05. That's a look above and fail through balance. Okay, you could fill this gap. Now, you could bounce here, or it could get real bloody and you go down, boy. And that would be bad. Okay, that would be very bad. But I don't know what's going to happen. You just got to have everything available to you as far as scenarios. So that wraps up scenarios. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed that. And if you did, please smash that like button for me. That would mean a lot to me. Okay, that would mean a lot to me. And what else here? Oh yeah, how about joining me and subscribing to my channel? Do it every day at 8, 10 a.m. Be with your boy, get the news, get why the market's moving, get a game plan for the day, long and short trade scenarios, which I just gave you. Right? And then when the market opens, I have to look at new analysis. Then I make videos on the trades and why I did it, and I post it to what? X at Gonzo719, also to my YouTube Shorts, check it out, and also to TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. Okay. So we got our plan today. All right, we're in ultimate balance. Big moves happen from ultimate balance. So if the market goes without me and it doesn't pull back, then I'm gonna just watch it go. Okay, but if it gives me a nice pullback, oh boy, So it's good in both ways. If we do get the look above and fail, that's a monster move to the short side, right? If we get a pullback and the markets is kind of still strong, you're going to get a monster move to the upside. All right, so we just have to see. We just have to see. All right, everybody have a great day. Stay green. Hope everybody has a green day. Patience, be patient. No trade to trade. Excuse me. No trade to trade. And everybody have a great day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.